Well, no, I'm not well, but thank you very much, first of all, for all your messages of support and love. This is the first time I've had a Hornet out since Rivington in September, was it? I'm amazed everything's not seized up. The brakes are fine, clutch was fine. Bit of rust here and there, because I've just been neglecting it over winter. But bloody cat pee everywhere, and it's left. There's even a little puddle of dried bloody yellow piss, little dirty sods. All the tomcats come in and mark the territory, don't they? We're not being used. Well, then again, I've been going to work on my bike this week. Good news on the work front, they've kindly said I'll be on full sick pay. It's very good of them, thank you very much. During my enhanced recovery program after the big operation later this month. I saw the consultant on Thursday, well, the actual surgeon this time. I think the other bloke was a consultant. Hope this bike's alright and nothing's going to fail on it. And I said, isn't this operation like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut? If my growth is non-malignant and benign, is this major bloody operation really necessary? It sounds horrific. Cutting my bloody duodenum out and then joining the stomach directly to the bowel, meaning I'll need enzyme tablets for digesting bloody food, and I'll be diabetic. I said, what if I just leave this lump? Oh, he said, well, almost certainly develop into cancer, because it's in a bad area. First thing it'll spread to is the what's it called, pancreas, which is what Robbie Knievel's son, sorry, Evil Knievel's son Robbie just died of pancreatic cancer, and the most famous case, of course, was Patrick Swayze, fit as a bloody flea, and yet he got pancreatic cancer. And it was good night Vienna, isn't it? So I said, well, yes, I'll go ahead with it then. But he said the enhanced recovery program means we get you out of bed and walk you about a few steps. You'll be full of drains and pipes. I thought, bloody no. I'll sit you in the chair, get your feet moving. And after 2 weeks we'll go home, we'll assess, because I live alone, we'll assess whether I need a carer. And I thought, it's a pity my mum had a stair lift taken out. If I'd have started being ill a bit sooner, she could have kept it and fitted it into my house. I can go to the bog, but there's a mobility centre in my town and they sell commodes and things. Commodes, you know. And there is a drain that leads to the sewers in the backyard to empty the potty. I don't know. It's like everyone says, if you haven't got your health, you're buggered, aren't you? So if you start feeling tired, that were the warning signs, feeling tired despite a good night's sleep, it could potentially mean there's something growing. Maybe I was a bit abrupt with people. 3 or 4 people have said, oh, it's not looking good for Steve, is it? Oh, if it's cancer again. Well, I was annoyed to have mentioned the word cancer, because it isn't cancer yet, but I suppose can't blame them for jumping to that conclusion. It's just it's not a nice word to hear, is it, when you're ill with a lump? And I said, what if you mentioned in the video that your wife had developed a lump? If people started saying, oh, it's cancer, you'd be very annoyed with them, wouldn't you? Well, that's how I felt. So sorry if I've tread on anyone's feelings, but I felt mine would tread on. You know what I mean? Not that I'm looking for any kind of sympathy vote or anything. Remember Pee Wee Tom? I was watching his videos a few years ago. Right good looking dude, he had a gorgeous wife and loads of kids, and he had a terrible cancer, a string of them growing on his, right from his chest right down to his abdomen. It looked like another spine, but it was diagonal. He said all these are malignant tumours, and the poor lad just wasted away. And his final video was in his hospital bed, he could hardly talk. And he got a load of arsehole trolls, mainly American, being nasty, saying, "You're milking this to goddamn death." You're going over it. So I've not had any trolls yet, I've just had some very pleasant comments, so thank you very much again. And with getting full sick pay, you can ignore my little beg. I said if every subscriber sent me £1, that would be £1,500, which should eliminate my debts, because I owe that much on my credit cards. I've been paying my gas and liquor bill on my credit cards because I cancelled my direct debit with Octopus Energy. So I've been paying on my credit cards, I've crept up, and I thought if I don't make it, apparently the mortality rate is 1 to 2%. The other fella the other week, Mr. Shoeboy, said 5%, but that's the surgery itself, but there's a recovery time and the drains and the risk of infection, risk of leaks inside. If that happens, it could still be curtains. So if I'm still here in May, then it looks like I have a good chance, doesn't it? You turn it, yes. Right, well, where am I going? I just thought I'd better get the bike out. I've just been stuck in the backyard. That's another thing, I was going to have to sell the Hornet to pay for me 3 or 4 months off with no wages or so. I thought, well, no, I don't need to sell this Hornet, but I'll wash all the bloody cat pee off it. I should get a better cover that actually fits. I've had the silver cover, it just fell apart when I tried to remove it. I've had that since I missed Silver Wing. That was many years ago. Even the brakes are biting well. Well, they would do because the discs had a bit of rust on them. So, bike cover. Well, I better not spend anything, I'll just... Yeah, I've got a big plastic sheet. You don't need a made-to-measure cover. I've got a big black tarpaulin type of sheet I got from Aldi for £5, and I was going to kneel on the backyard on that to change this bloody regulator rectifier. We'll see if it starts up outside B&Q, because that's where I'm going. I'm going to have 2 keys cut in case I do get a carer. I thought I've no spare keys, my brother's got me all this set. You went over it. Although my mum said no, a carer, they'll put the keys in a box. You get a box fitted to your door like my mum did. You know, the door post, back up there. Hello, little Albert. That number plate's illegal. Yeah, so Blackpool Illuminations, weren't it? Was it September, October, no Wonder Cucumber, and then Jangleberry. It's 5 months, isn't it? 5 months and it's not missing a beat. What a good quality brand Honda is. I've just been out phone to Derek Brown this morning for half an hour. He's a very good lad, keeping in touch. And Alan Wiltshire. And Derek's getting shut of all 3 of his Royal Enfields and getting Kawasaki again. That's where I have to go. You want to go in there? Well, I'll go here then. Yeah, there's no real shortcut to B&Q. Is there a B&Q in Blackburn? B-L-A-C-K, B-U-R-N. There's a B but no Q. Bloody visor. Did I check the pin lock out? I think I did, because it was a waste of bloody time. They never work proper when you've got glasses on. Should I call it the bike shop? Fuel, well, the fuel have gone off in 5 months. Seems alright, doesn't it? Fuel injection, I think you have to be a bit more careful with old fuel. Still, what's 5 months? Please let me know if it's likely to have gone off. I'm no expert in anything mechanical. What are you doing, Albert? Royal Mail professional driver. That's over 30. Now then, yeah, B&Q. Down that little shortcut away from the town centre and nearly there. Flea stuff for ginger. The thing on Twitter yesterday, someone's girl ginger cat called Margaret lived to 19. And I said, well, my ginger's 18, but they do say you multiply it by 7, but that's nonsense, isn't it, to get cat years converted to human years. Because no way a cat or a dog will be 200 and odd year old, is it? So I think it's 4 and a bit you multiply it by. So ginger's about 70 something. Which is about right, seeing as his teeth are going again. The vets in my town has closed down. I rung the head office in Clitheroe and said, oh, there's a shortage of vets and we could never get one to Great Harwood, therefore we've closed that small branch. It was a waste of time anyway, because whenever you left a pet there, a van would pull up at 5 o'clock, they'd load your bloody pets into the back of a little bumpy van in the little cages, so they'd be terrified, and then they'd bounce down the potholes to Clitheroe, 8 or 9 mile away. Imagine the state of our roads and a crappy little van. They'll be bouncing about, bloody terrified, won't they? So, if I need to check Ginger, I'm afraid I'll go and have my operation before Ginger has any more teeth out. My mum said, am I going to be looking after the cats again during your 2 weeks in hospital? I said, well, my brother might do, seeing as I've pointed out that if I don't make it, I've left the house and all its contents to him. So I thought it'd sort of perk him up into doing a few little favours for me, like looking after the cats. We're still recording, the power was down even though I thought I'd charged it up. Yeah, so as for feeling, how am I feeling now? Fine, I had no pain in hospital, it's just a lump on your duodenum, so it's not hurting. Because it's not cancerous, I'm not in terrible pain like them poor buggers. I've just been on phone to an old fella called Graham who was in the next bed, and he had a car crash in he said, I can't recollect anything about it, and I still can. It turns out my lady friend's son was also in the car in the back seat, and he was hospitalised. And he said, my lady friend is still in Preston. I said, all this time on, and he's only come out Friday because he had severe chest pains. I'm going to tell you all about my 2 weeks in hospital, but we're not meant to criticise NHS, are we? I'll give you one example. When I first admitted, the doctor come round the following morning. Ah, Mr. Hunter, you're having a problem with the pancreas, yes? I said, I'm not Mr. Hunter. It says Mr. Hunter, and they hadn't changed the name above the bed in marker pen, or the paperwork. Where is Mr. Hunter? He went home this morning, sir. My God, this is basic stuff. Guys, change the patient's name at least. So, you know, it was a sort of catalogue of errors like that, but like I said, I'm not going to get into too much detail. They are sort of swept off their feet, aren't you? So you can imagine someone forgetting if they're busy wiping asses and clearing stuff away. Could tell you another one. Where are you going, Albert? Where are you going? You maniacs. Another one, me camera down the throat kept getting cancelled because the ward I was on was fed by emergency ambulances. It was called the emergency ambulatory care ward. So mine kept getting cancelled. So nil by mouth. And that woman that brought the dinners, "Are you not eating your dinner, Stephen?" I said, "I must be nil by mouth later," because, "Oh no, you're not." I said, "Well, I brought it 40 minutes ago." I said, "You didn't, because my table's empty, Luke." "I did." I said, you didn't. Let's have a look round. And she had a look round, and it was another patient 25 feet away, side of his bed on a shelf. "Oh, yours is here, chicken and chickpea with rice." And it was stone cold. I went, "Ugh." I had a crap appetite anyway. That's another reason I've lost lots of weight, as well as a nil by mouth 6 times. "Oh, it's here." And I went, "Ugh." I said, "It's stone cold." "I'll warm it up." I said, "What, chicken? I'll be bloody poisoned." I said, "Never mind, I've no appetite anyway. I'll have some Weetabix at night time." And when night time come, "No, Weetabix is for breakfast, Stephen. You can't have..." I said, "I've missed my dinner. Can I please have some?" "I'll have a look. I'm not sure where it is, because I'm night duty, not breakfast." "No, I can't find any." I said, "Well, never mind." And that morning after, nurse found the Weetabix, brought it to you, but you were fast asleep, snoring. I said, "Oh well, never mind then." So that's why I've lost 3.5 to 4 stone. At least 3 anyway. It couldn't be accurate, because when did you weigh yourself for 23 stone? I said, "At work, on the pallet wrapping weighing scale." "Well, you're now 18 stone 11. I said, "Bloody no." And my big belly's gone. I could show you when I get home, if you like. Big belly. Maybe I'm having a baby. Maybe I'm pregnant with quads. Right, B&Q. Pets at home. See, they're close to each other, aren't they? Right there. Actually, I had to look out for screws here last time I came here. There's bloody screws all over the floor. Right, keys cut. What they don't want to put the right bloody change in. I seem to remember it saying no change last time. Let's have a quick walk around. You haven't seen me Hornet for months. Well, I haven't either. I squirted WD down there. It's still a bit stiff. Yeah, fake alarm. Now that's a cat piss. Can you see the little crustacean? It's set solid, very dried cat pee. They scullered all the metal. Rust here and there. But not too bad for 5 months of neglect, and them big horns still work, amazingly. Did I tell you they were £5.75 a pair? See, I cried piss. All the little nuts have gone. Fork legs are alright. I'm not even going to attempt to put them spotlights on after what happened in Blackpool. Like I said, the regulator rectifier is up in the wheel arch, and I'm not in a fit state, and I won't be after the operation, will I? If I live. So there we are. I'll knock the camera off. I'm still recording. Well, with a lot of faffing around that was. Took about 1/4 of an hour to do 3 keys. The machine's right slow, and they wouldn't change a £20 note. I asked for 2 tennies. We can't do that, you have to buy something. So to buy a pack of screws and roll plugs, £1 something. And while I had my keys cut, security guard, he didn't come over to arrest me. I used to work at the place I work at now. And he asked how I was, so I told him about the big operation. I said, well, sadly, to have a big operation, it's quite dangerous. Oh, there we are. So he shook my hand and wished me the best of luck. That was nice of him. Oh, spotlights are fine, aren't they? Maybe just a little blip in Blackpool, but if there's a fault, there's a fault, and it doesn't cure itself. Yeah, that burble. My brother said, what a quiet exhaust. I said, well, it's standard. Standard, that's well, I fitted them, didn't I, from eBay. You see, indicators as well on the LED. So I keep them spotlights on. I might as well, because going straight home. This jacket, I can't zip it up. When was it? New Year. Before I started being ill, I mean, first of all, the doctor put me on antibiotics over Christmas. My local GP, because my pee was dry, plus I didn't feel so well. And of course he did nothing because it wasn't a kidney infection as he thought. So I saw the other doctor, but meanwhile, I got a brochure through post, Atlas for Men, bargain winter sale. So I got a woolly jumper, and there was a royal blue fleece, £13 something, down from 40, royal blue and black. So I've got that on now, and the woolly jumper. I can't fasten my jacket up, but they are nice and warm. But yeah, what a bargain. It's a regatta, so £13.50 I think it were. And the woolly jumper was £17. You never have enough woolly jumpers. So I've not been spending. Oh, it's low fuel. Bloody hell. Well then, where are we now? Bloody hell, miles from anywhere. Wonder about the petrol. Oh yeah, petrol station on the way home, but might be busy at this time. I'll show you when I get home. I might be able to show you my weight loss, and I'll show you my my royal blue fleece. Look at this thing. I'm not going over that. I'm pleased I'm strong enough to do this now. I've never felt fitter. All that weight loss has done me a lot of good. Pity I'm doomed. I've been trying to make plans. I said if I do, oh don't say that. I said you have to say that. If that happens. So I told my mum about my cash card and the number, and then she forgot. And I said it's tied in with your birthday. You should remember. What do I want that for? I said, well, if I do end up expiring on the operating table or getting an infection, I'll be getting paid at the end of February. So therefore you need to access my account, don't you? Have to consider these things. Plus I told her where my will was, which I wrote in 2012 when my CB500 got smashed up. So you have to consider these things, don't you? Otherwise you have to get a solicitor involved and they'll charge a bloody fortune for contacting your bank. Yeah, that's cheap. You parked on B&Q and now he's having a wander round. What are you doing? What do you want, Albert? I always get the lane mixed up here. It's a bit confusing. See? Green for about 5 seconds. Crap, aren't they? Town centre. Burnley. Town centre, right. I'm glad the Hornet's running alright. I better not say that. I said that in Blackpool, and the next thing it had gone flat. I was pressing my Tarzan horn a lot though, wasn't I? That seems silly. Does the Tarzan horn use a lots of power? Has anyone else got a Tarzan horn? Do I sound calm? I asked online, has anyone else had this Whipple Procedure, named after the American surgeon many years ago, that people were dying with lumps, and he's found this way of getting shut of them. Look at this, I don't think I'll bother with that. I'll go through the town centre. I could sneak into that cycle lane, couldn't I? It's a bit cheeky though. I better not. I could do, couldn't I? See, it's gone green now. I could have gone there. I'm not used to these roads. Let's work. I could turn into that furniture store car park and do a little U-turn, avoid the town centre as it's coming up near kicking out time at the shops. Right. Or there we are. It's good, isn't it? Probably quicker than if I had joined that queue. Don't turn, Albert. Thank you. Should I call it the bike shop? Bike covers there will be about £100. Get them on eBay, can't you? In fact, I saw some Oxford ones in a sale, and I thought, no, mine's alright, but mine doesn't reach the floor. Well, then again, I'll have a jiggle around at home and see if it does fit to the floor, because if you locate everything properly, the wing mirrors and what have you, it might just stop the cats pissing all over the bike. Bloody cats. My mum actually said, well, if you take Ginger to the vet for his teeth instead of forking out hundreds again, why not make it a one-way trip, as he's very old and susceptible to fleas. With being Ginger, he's got thin fur and thin skin, I think, and the bloody fleas go mad. He's jumping up in the air at the moment. I just told the girl in the shop there, at Pets at Home, that Bob Martin doesn't seem to work in a vet. She said, oh, it's rubbish. So I've got Frontline Plus, which is stronger. And I said, do you sell everything with your dogs? I said, I've got a cat section with Dreamies. I said, you don't like having these drops. So I give him some Dreamies afterwards. Yeah, some here. And I got some catnip as well. And I couldn't have Ginger put to sleep. I've had him for, well, since I moved in that house. I catnapped him from this lad who was called Rollo, and he lived outside behind a bloody plank. Because I think the lad had a flat. And I don't think they're allowed pets, so it lived, little Ginger lived rough in the back street behind a bloody plank. So I got talking to him and he come in, I give him some food, and within a couple of days he was in my house lying on his back in front of the gas fire on a luxury furry bed. And that lad said, "What's that cat doing going in your yard?" I said, "Well, I've adopted him. He's my cat called Rolo." I said, "Well, I call him Ginger now." I said, "Cats decide who they live with. Sorry." And then he moved out. The lad in the flat, I mean. What's going on? There's loonies everywhere, isn't there? Don't need to sound your horn, don't sound it. If someone walking in front of his car or something. Right, petrol station there, but it's going to be busy, isn't it, being on a main road. Yeah, the operation, marvellous, isn't it? I think you're being healthy, not smoking, drinking much and not taking drugs. Not a bad diet. My niece rung up from Australia when I was in my hospital bed. "Uncle Stephen, you eat a load of crap. You'll get better if you eat a proper diet. Coconut milk and brown rice." I said, "Oh, I nearly said I can do without all this." But when I asked the surgeon, he said, "No, it's just bad luck. It isn't bad diet, it's bad luck. Look at all the fatties that don't get lumps. You could be as healthy like Patrick Swayze, poor chap. And just tough luck, innit?" Yeah, sorry, the bloody power's run out. So it's going to ping out in a minute. Might be enough power to show you my new fleece when I get home on my woolly jumper. It actually said knitted jacket with pockets, you know. Atlas for men. Have a look online. Thousands of all sorts, cheap. Starting alright, isn't it? Yes, Albert, don't pull out. So, I think this will be my last video for a while. It's next Friday, it's the exercise bike to test my lungs. Did I mention that? A word about my lungs. Along the 5-hour operation, my lungs have to be tip-top. Hello, yes, I'm back. I thought to do a bit of filming around the house because I've just been out phone to Alan Wiltshire, Calderdale, for about 2.5 hours and his lady friend. We're getting annoyed, we both haven't eaten. I've got some soup there, but I've not had a chance to go to Morrison's and no. I'm going to try and lose a bit more weight because the surgeon said, "Let me see your tummy." Oh, I said, "Yes, if you're very overweight it would cause complications." Can you see there? Because he said the incision is going to be a big, following the line of your rib cage. And because my belly was out here before, because I've lost 3.5 stone, it's good you do. I said, well, I could lose a bit more weight in the next couple of weeks before the operation. Not necessary, and I thought, well, it is. So therefore I'm going to start a sort of diet and eat. I could murder a big pizza with garlic bread, but I had no appetite in the hospital because of my illness and I was nil by mouth. That's why I lost all that weight. But I didn't actually miss food. I just, nil by mouth. What were I doing? No, I weren't allowed water neither, I don't think. You allowed a few sips of water now and again, just get me dry lips moving. I ended up getting some lip balm, I brought it home. Because my lips were all dried up. But yeah, I could take a leave food. I'm not an obsessive that has to stuff my bloody guts every night. I could. Last night all I had was rice pudding with some raspberry sauce on that my mum got me, strawberry sauce. So I could just not eat anything tonight. What's happened there? That pussycat pictures fell over. And the reason I'm going to do a walk around, when I come home from hospital, this was on the kitchen table, and my brother, I said, what's that? A mate makes him at work, he's into woodwork and do it yourself. He's done his kitchen, and he's done a unit for the living room to put telly in, and he's made that for you. He makes them for his biker pals. He's drawn Honda on himself, and I didn't know what it was. It's for your helmet. So I put 2 screws in there and 1 there, and it works. It's not going to drop off, is it? You see. So the helmet was here on a bloody tripod before, remember, and it looked still a bit of a mess. I need to tidy up. So now it's there, and you can put your helmet bags in there, or cloths for cleaning, your keys on here. Although I said that's for jackets, I said, well, I could put keys on there, key rings and stuff. Maybe. He said, not going to move. I said, no, it's a good idea. I said, you should patent it and knock them out to bikers. He said, he's also burns it, he puts a flame over it. I said, yeah, I can see it. Plywood. Oh no, it isn't plywood, it's proper pine, isn't it, with the rings on, is it the medullary rings? So it's alright, isn't it, I think. At least it's got the helmet out of the way, but the other helmet still goes on the other tripod near the charger. So, what else? Oh yeah, bulbs. I was going to mention these bulbs because of my sky-high, see, nearly cold, sky-high bills. You get these adapters to fit the small Edison screw bulbs, and that's a 4 watt cooker bulb, 4 watts. And lots of them low wattage ones are actually about 14 or 15 watts. So I'm reducing all my bulbs down to 4 watt, which is meant to save money, but when I get the gas and electric bill, it's still sky high. So yeah, I was just telling Alan Wiltshire, I said, if it goes wrong, come up, give me mum some money, and you can take the Hornet away. Where's the big light? I've been given this blower to strengthen my lungs. There's a concern about surviving the 5-hour operation, and I thought I was blowing and it weren't moving. Then I read the instructions and you have to suck. Oops. That's how you get your lungs exercise. You suck, keep that there, and try and keep sucking until it gets to the top. And you're meant to do it every 2 hours every day. And then next Friday I'm in for a bloody exercise bike. I've not had a mountain bike for years. 1993 to 95. And then I got me silver wing. So all the documents for the hospital are there. Woolly jumpers. Oh, that's a fleece. That's a royal blue and black fleece. Is it regatta? Yeah, regatta professional 4XL. Not quite Hornet royal blue, it's near enough, and a zip there. And deep pockets with zips on here. £13.50 from Atlas for Men. And they had loads of them. And the other woolly knitted jacket, so it said, like a cardigan, with a warm lining, with pockets here, and the same one in sort of mottled blue with pockets. That's what I've got on now, super warm. So I thought I'd show you them. Why? I'm trying to promote Atlas for Men. You might give me a commission. My blue jacket I got from eBay ages ago. Oh, I'm going to show you my new slimline figure, wasn't I? The nurse said you've lost 3.5 stone proportionally So it's your legs, arms and tummy. I said, yeah, no obvious sign where 3.5 stone's gone, but these are my size 44 jeans. I did have 46. These come down. And I've got some size 40 jeans, which I can actually get into again. I couldn't get into them for years. And 40 will just fit, so I might start wearing them for work. But as for my huge belly, yes, I'm holding it in a bit, but if I change my stomach, I've nearly got a 6-pack. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. I'm trying to take my mind off her having a laugh with Alan for 2.5 hours, telling him about the house and rising damp. I watched the fall and rise of Reginald Perry last night and I never got into that. This is Independence Day again. Again, the last bit in it, the big battle. Anything else? Not really. Flea stuff for the cats. Oh, I'll show you Alan's guest room when he comes. Right, Ginger. Hopefully that flea stuff will work. Oh yeah, they were saying about handles, but because my grandmother lived in this house since wartime until she had to go in an old folks home, there's already handles everywhere. In the shower, handles. Because I'm going to be in terrible pain apparently after the operation. Handle there, towel rail there, which is like another handle. It's okay, nothing nasty there. I know, dust everywhere. And like I said at Christmas, my winter project was to decorate in this little room, convert it to a sort of walk-in wardrobe and then put some decking down in the loft and put a light there, but because I've been ill, I've not had the strength. See, just going upstairs is a pain. Oh, I've been trying to sort out an extension. I found a decent one to plug the Hoover in. I'll take them downstairs. So this is where Alan stayed when he came up a few years ago. 2 kilowatt fan heater there. And I left that on as a night light. As if you need to go to the bathroom. There's a blue one there. You won't fall downstairs. So there you are, Alan, all ready and waiting again for your next visit. Ironing board. There's a lock on the door. Maybe I should keep it here myself. Back to my single bed. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the ones. Oh, that's what I was doing. I'm trying to find one of these that lights up, and I found one. I've got loads. Well, I had loads of these. And I thought if I was stairlift fitted, are they acceptable as a power unit? Because you light up. Bottom at stairs, that door. I could drill a hole, poke that through, plug it into a socket, but they say you have to use these as permanent sockets. I'm not sure why. Do they fail or something? Is there a risk of fire? Do you need a proper socket to power a stairlift? If I need one, it's not clear whether I actually need one, because I don't know how immobile I'm going to be. And if I'm going to be using a bloody commode, which I don't fancy, then it won't actually need a stairlift, will I? And I've been in touch with my mate Kevin. I said I still have loads of Beetle stuff left which I've no interest in whatsoever. I said come over and see if you want to buy something and give the money to me mum if I don't make it through the oh, don't talk like that. I said well I'm just being practical. If there's a risk I don't make it and I don't want to be left with loads of stuff and my mum could have the money to pay for a funeral. I don't want my mum forking out whatever it costs these days. I said 100 Beetle books plus these Beetle ornaments. Come over, and he won't do. I don't know why. Come over Sunday, get a taxi. More books here. And the CD sets. The Yoko Ono's autograph was about 50 quid, I think. Oh, I've sealed these off now. I found a letter. My mum gave me that years ago. Look what I found in the photo box. A letter you wrote when you were in Christie's with your mouth cancer. When you were 6 and you wrote it to Grandma. And there's that picture of me when I was 6 before the mouth tumour started. It says, Dear Grandma, I'm writing this from hospital where I am with other children. We are all here to get better. So I think a nurse must have helped us to write it. Here's a picture of me under the covers and the little matchstalk man under the covers of the bed from 1970 when I was 6. All them years ago. So there you are, Alan. I think I'll leave that on. So a stairlift. When my grandma was here, she had it here, and the banister was here, but I've put the banister here. I think it was a bit rickety, so I made a nice solid. I got some wood, and with a hole saw, cut the circles out, then cut an inner circle out. Put a load of bolts in. Or was it just a plain circle? I think I put 3 big bolts in and then hung the brackets on. But I might have to come off if I do get a stair lift. And the reason I put all these here was because an old friend of mine, Gary Clarkson, fell down his stairs and broke his neck after a drinking session. And when I read about that, I bought a padded bedding box and put all my bike stuff here. So if I ever do the same, I'll have a soft landing. I left the bloody lights on. Silly son. Yeah, poor Gary. You were 44, so it must have been 8 years ago or so when he died. Old school pal. I sent some flowers to his funeral. But these terraced houses are steep stairs, aren't they? Can you see? Is it too dark? So imagine when I walk up these, when I've got a big incision on my stomach and inside lots of joined up organs. You know what I mean? It's all rather worrying. Anyway, that's an end to the little day out today. I just thought I'd show you a few things. So, bye for now. Thanks again for all your warm wishes and messages of support. Okay, thank you very much. Bye for now. Wish me luck. I'll need it, I think.